Even though the weather is typically unstable in April, Google as always brings new updates around Google Workspace. I'm Max from Cyber Media, and these are the updates from April 2022.
More assistive writing suggestions in Google Docs. Google Docs now helps you write with more suggestions in addition to the normal spell checker. Among other things, Google helps with a more dynamic word choice, to formulate text more actively than passively, to formulate more concisely, to write more inclusively, and it warns you about potentially inappropriate word choice. The suggestions are simply displayed to you as you write, and you can accept or ignore them. Improved Braille support in Google Docs on the web. Braille is a technology that enables visually impaired users to capture the text in documents, for example using screen readers. Google has now improved the way comments and highlighting in Google Docs are captured by such devices. New emoji reactions in Google Docs on web. The initially simple smileys that have already simplified verbal digital communication since their emergence have now evolved into all kinds of emojis. Emojis help us to bring emotions into text statements and thus, for example, to better clarify irony or sarcasm. But they also help us since the advent of social media and chat services such as Google Chat, for example by a thumbs up or down quickly and without writing text to express our agreement, disagreement or other feelings digitally. Now emojis are making their way into Google Docs. When you highlight a text in Google Docs in the browser, you can now respond quickly and easily with an emoji in addition to a comment or suggested change. Enhanced menus in Google Docs. Google Sheets was already cleaned up a few months ago, and now Google is also bringing more order to the Google Docs menus. With slimmer menus, distinctive icons and a more intuitive positioning of the functions, you should be able to use Google Docs even faster and easier in the future. The rollout of the update has already started a few days ago, but it may take until the end of May until the changed menus are also visible for you. Intelligent corrections for formulas in Google Sheets. Similar to the suggestions in Google Docs that help you write text, Google is also building more and more help into Google Sheets. Since last year, there are already suggestions for formulas that fit the context of the data of your Google Sheets. Now, Google also helps you to correct incorrect formulas, for example VLOOKUP errors or missing cells in range entries. Whenever you insert a formula that Google Sheets recognize as worthy of improvement, a hint appears with a suggestion that you can accept or reject. Quick access to additional features in Google Chat on iOS. Google has already introduced a new Plus menu for Google Chat on the web and Android devices. This includes additional functions such as uploading a file, creating a Google Meet, accessing Google Drive, and text formatting options. Now this menu is also available on iOS devices. Set Google Chat notifications during focus mode on iOS devices. You can now specify on iOS devices which Google Chat and Gmail contacts you want to receive notifications from, even though you are in focus mode. Additional improvements for Google Meet. Google Meet is also happy about updates again. Maybe you know this. You have 100 browser tabs open and were just in a Google Meet, but didn't click End Call there. Now you automatically get a notification when you spend 5 minutes in an empty Google Meet asking you if you want to stay in the meet or leave. If you don't respond after another 2 minutes, you automatically leave the meet. Additionally, there have been features for Meet hosts for some time that were previously found in various places in the settings in Meet. Google has now consolidated all host functions under the Host Controls menu item for easier use. Set hosting settings for Google Meet in Google Calendar. Up to now, it was already possible to define in a Google Calendar appointment for a Google Meet whether participants without invitation have to knock first, whether a participation report should be created, and whether there should be directly defined breakout rooms. Now, as the host of an event or Google Meet, you can also make further settings in the Google Calendar, such as allowing or prohibiting participants from sharing their screen or using the chat. You can also assign co-hosts directly here who can then also access these settings. Using document popularity in cloud search rankings. Google improved the results of searches via cloud search in that popular documents, meaning documents that have been clicked on by many users and match your search query, will be displayed higher in the future. This way you can find relevant documents even faster. These were plenty of updates from April. You can look forward to another great known update in May. Run Google Meet inside Google Docs, Sheets and Slides. Especially if you have only one monitor available, for example your own notebook, and you participate in a Google Meet, collaboration was not optimal until now. You had to decide whether you wanted to keep seeing your colleagues or open a Google document to work in. Now that's no longer a problem, because you can either open a Google Meet directly in Google Doc, Sheet or Slide, or transfer a Google Meet that's already open in a separate tab to a Google document. A sidebar will then appear in the Google document on the right side with the video tiles of the other participants and the mute and raise hand functions. You can also click to reopen the Meet in a separate tab. That's it with the updates from April. I'm looking forward to seeing you again in June.